When I was 17, I knew this girl named Chloe. Chloe was pretty. Her eyes were such a beautiful shade of blue, like reflected moonlight from a pool of water. Her hair was a pretty blonde color, and she usually wore it in a long ponytail down her back. Her skin was always so pale. She never wore lipstick, and from her words, not mine, it tastes horrible, like pig's feet. She wore this pink dress all the time, every day, over and over again. I could tell that she was poor, but I never asked because that would have been rude. I didn't want to be rude to her. To be perfectly honest, she was always so weird, like not an eccentric way. She wasn't like many of the cute girls who went to my high school. She wasn't popular, she wasn't a cheerleader, and she didn't have any friends. Aside from me, of course. To me, it was strange to see her with anyone else. She usually just sat all alone when I wasn't with her and was just so quiet. That's what stuck out the most, the fact that she was so quiet. If you know anything about teens, especially teens at high schools, you know that they are very loud. But not Chloe. She was just so alone without me and just drew all the time. Sometimes I would catch her drawing in her pink notebook with a pen, but she would hide it away whenever I came around her. It was one of her many secrets that I didn't know. She was my best friend, and we first met on the first day of either 10th or 11th grade. I had accidentally walked into her when I wasn't looking. We talked, and soon I grew attracted to her in first a friendly way, then in a more romantic way. She felt the same way too. She wasn't well liked by my fellow classmates, the ones who were more popular and more social than her. They occasionally teased her for being so pale. They called her Bella, from that girl book about sparkling vampires. There was this one girl named Tina. Tina was this cheerleader who liked to pick on Chloe. A lot. Tina was one of the most popular kids at my school, and she was always calling Chloe bad names and bringing her down. She was the girl that started all of the trouble. One day, Tina didn't show up at school. She wasn't there by the afternoon, and when 7th period started, my teacher broke the news. She had been found dead in her bedroom that morning, and it looked like she had been murdered. It was shocking, to say the least. Some students uttered many, "Oh my God," and others just sat at their desks, just shocked. I was shocked. I looked over to see if Chloe was shocked too, but she wasn't. She wasn't sad and she wasn't shocked. She looked calm. She just looked over at me and winked. That flippin' wink. It just didn't feel right. It wasn't right. She wasn't right. Oh, how right I was on that. After class and when others started to run from the building, I stopped Chloe by her locker as she was getting her stuff. "What's wrong with you, Chloe? Huh?" She just stared at me silently, and I felt the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Her eyes had this dark look in them, like she was possessed. She walked towards me. I looked away from those eyes. "What do you mean? Why did you wink at me during class? Why would you?" She locked her eyes with mine again, and she smiled. It was the smile of someone who isn't right. Like she was happy for Tina to be dead. "James, can I tell you a secret?" secret? I didn't know what her little secret was, but I knew that it wouldn't be something that I would like. She stepped closer to me and she started to kiss my cheeks. I could feel her and she was so cold. That witch deserved to die. I froze and stared at her in horror. She said that Tina deserved to die. That wasn't the Chloe I knew, but like I said, she wasn't much of a talker. What? She deserved it. I had to do it. I stared at her and I could see her smile widen. She had to die. I had to kill her, James. The voices told me so. The voices? She nodded her head. I couldn't take her smile anymore. I ran. I just ran as fast as I could, sneakers pounding onto the floor, and I could hear her call to me from behind. I ignored her cries. I just had to get away from that psycho. I told the principal, and the principal called the police. They arrested her after they took her to the station to be interviewed. I was at the trial, and when the doctors that had been hired to evaluate her mind said that she suffered from schizophrenia, I broke down. My best friend suffered from schizophrenia. I testified against her, and I know that when she heard me betraying her trust, I could see the tears falling down her face. Then, a look of anger. I was so glad that she was convicted and sent to St. Bates for help. She needed help. My life has been normal for the past several years. I graduated from high school and finally college. I live alone in the apartment in New York City. No Chloe for a long time, and she's been out of my memory since. But today, when I was listening to the radio in my apartment, I heard something that is bringing back those memories. There's been an escape from St. Bates. Guess who's coming for me?